Thank you for listening to WYTV7. Can you make us your #1 listen to network? Visit us on the web at WYTV7.org. Contact us. We are currently accepting guests to share their story of hope with our audience around the world.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the Bridge Broadcast Show, and you are with your host, Tina Boyle-White. And as I always say, I am excited to be here with you on today, tonight, or in the morning, wherever you are. You could be watching this at any time, so I welcome you. You have just began watching the Bridge Broadcast Show, where we focus on getting you from where you are to where you want and need to be. And we are in season 2 here at the Bridge Broadcast Show. Our focus really is to help you spirit, soul, and body. And last season, if you didn't have a chance to watch any of the shows that I did last season, I encourage you to go back and just walk through the journey, because last season was about spiritual transformation. But this season, as I've started to walk through from show 1, setting the pace for you to walk in faith in 2019, the second show was really focused on you really becoming aware of who you are and where you are. And yet we're going to continue on with this journey. And when I mentioned last season, when I came on as a new show for the Bridge Broadcast Show, I shared with you, the audience, that we would be doing different walks in different books of mentors of mine, people who I look to as mentors to develop me spiritually, mentally, physically. There's mentors that I've captured along the way. And one specific mentor that I have is the leadership guru in the world, John Maxwell. And John Maxwell, he focuses on developing leaders and equipping leaders around the world. And as for many of you, you may not know that I am an assistant pastor, I'm a life coach, I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer. I do a lot of things and I have a lot of hats. And so as I'm sharing with you today, I want to share with you something from my mentor, a book that I'm reading, No Limits, Blow the Cap Off Your Capacity by John C. Maxwell. And today I want to just share with you a little bit about what it is that I want to continue in this journey with you. And it is a walk, the walk across the bridge. Really, when I say that I want to help you get from where you are to where you want and need to be, I really do. And I say that from a place that I am not yet perfect. However, I am growing in the Lord, and He is really distilling and downloading in me the tools that I need necessary to be a blessing to the body of Christ, the kingdom, people, anybody who is willing to receive and feed on what I am getting. And today, I want to just extend the thought. Our thought around today is really focused on really taking a look at your capacity. And when I look at this, this word capacity, it's really coming from a place of really resetting in 2019. There's really something powerful that is going on this year in my life. And if it's something that you're experiencing in your life and you're in agreement, walk with me, listen, and see what God has really given us, the nuggets to feed on. So Reset 2019 is a private fan group, a Facebook page where we can come together. You can be encouraged, you can be built, you can be equipped in spirit, soul, and body in 3 areas. And that is all inclusive of everything of who we are. And within that, spirit, soul, and body, spirit is that spiritual, that transformation. Soul, your mind, will, and emotions, and to really refer back to the tool that we used last time, that fits in that category, as well as body. And I will be sharing different things with you throughout this year. But the focus is capacity. What is your capacity? Capacity equals awareness plus ability plus the choices. Plus the choices we make. So capacity equal awareness plus ability plus choices. And what I want to do with you today, as we are in the Reset 2019, is just kind of walk you through some of the things that I just have gleaned from this book. And so as I'm reading this book, and it will do, feel free to get the book. You know, John Maxwell, he tells lots and lots of stories. And one of the things that he did when he was writing this book, he said that he talked to different pastors to see what it was that they did to help their people. And he said basically they explained that people will be more readily to reach their potential when they work on their strengths rather than working on their weaknesses. And so last week you had the chance, and I would encourage you to go back to that broadcast to look at the tool that we use to start looking at kind of where we are in our wellness wheel, and to look at that tool and say, okay, where am I? But this is the thing, what we're learning today, we don't want to go from the point of where your weaknesses are. We want to build on your strengths, and we will walk you throughout whatever it is that is hindering you. But let's focus on your strengths. And so he started off asking, do you know what's limiting you? And that's a $1 million question that I ask people all the time. What's hindering you? What's stopping you? What's causing you to be stuck? And he says something to remind us that we need to be aware. So we looked at the equation, capacity equal awareness plus ability plus choices. And so when you start thinking about your capacity, you start thinking about who you are. He said in this first one, he said, know that your capacity is not set. If you're like most people, he says, I bet you'd like more out of life than you currently are experiencing. Maybe you're not succeeding in all the ways that you desire to in life. Perhaps you're less than fully satisfied with your progress. And you know what? Sometimes we get to certain places in life and we start measuring and we start looking at other people and say, well, you know what? I don't make as much money as that person make. And I had to stop my own self from thinking about that. And, you know, somebody could be making 6 figures, but literally house poor or broke, you know, because they're living from paycheck to paycheck. And it's not what you get is, but it's what you do with what you get. And so really don't look at your progress as looking at other people. Are you getting done all that you want to do? He goes on to ask. Or do you want to see more, do more, and be more? If you're like me, you want to achieve more. Even at nearly age 70, I'm not satisfied. I want to keep growing and making a difference. What's getting in your way and what's limiting you? Do you know? If you don't know what's limiting you, how will you remove it? And now the thing is know what it is, but don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Keep that growth mindset, not the fixed mindset that, oh, this is how it's going to be. They do better than I do, and I'm doing this. No, how can you grow from that? How can you learn from that and know that your capacity is not set? And so when you start thinking about those things, he's really talking about your awareness. And so when we think about awareness, instead of being fixed or really staying there and not satisfied with our progress, what can you do to become aware of where you need to go? And he goes on to talk about awareness is discovering, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? So what would I need to know about my finances? If I want to make money, what do I need to know or do to make more money? How do I remove that thought in my mind? And so he talks about he says, what stops people from reaching their capacity often isn't lack of desire. It's usually the lack of awareness. Unfortunately, people don't become self-aware accidentally. See, this thing is very intentional, and I am soon to be 50, and I have been working on life in an intentional manner, even when I didn't know it. I have come to learn and grow as I've gone out, read books, gone to workshops, learned and developed, but there's still places that I'm yet not. And so maybe there's places that I'm still understanding and discovering and becoming aware in me. So I am not exempt from this. So don't be alarmed. Just because I'm standing before you, sharing this with you, I still have to grow and become aware. And so he says these factors that prevent us from becoming self-aware is excuses, making up excuses for things, success fantasies that are not grounded in reality, dreaming constantly, talking without listening to others. Just, you don't take wisdom. You're just constantly talking. Unresolved negative emotions. See, now it all goes together because we said spirit, soul, and body. They all intertwine with one another. Habitual self-distraction, when you just cannot focus. Things are just constantly keeping you off track. And that could be even self-thinking, doubt in yourself, self-sabotage, those things that stop you from being that person who you are needing to be. Personal self-reflection. Now that's very important. As a coach, we encourage people to self-reflect. As a teacher, I encourage people to reflect on things. And so we're talking about things that keep you from developing great awareness, or the unwillingness to pay the price to gain experience. And I really like that one, because when you are looking to get experience and grow, you have to invest in yourself. You have to be willing to take the time to put in you. And so I have to use an example that it is so rich. I am becoming an official. I am an official. I'm a certified official in Wisconsin for high school, middle school, and elementary basketball, any sport. So I'm an official for that. And so one of the things that I saw that I wanted to do, I wanted to become an official. I could have stayed in the mindset, well, I'm too old. Second thing, I didn't play any sports. I didn't coach. I didn't do any of those things. See where this awareness is? Because I had the excuses, I could have hindered my own self, my negative emotions. Well, people would not accept me, or I don't have the confidence. Well, if I wanted to do that, I need to invest in myself, and I need to invest in the time to get the experience that I need to be able to be an effective coach. There is a payoff at the end. And so I had to pay for some camps. I'm running around up and down courts. And by this time, ladies and gentlemen, I was at least 25 pounds heavier than I am now. I could have used that as an excuse, but I made up in my mind that I need to become more aware of what was in me to be able to do something that I wanted more of. And so as we're talking through these things, I want you to think about, where is that area where you are limiting yourself and you're not allowing yourself to grow and develop and to get what it is, and blowing off. You see, here's the thing, we're blowing off the cap, the capacity cap, and we're looking to go into places in 2019. This is why I'm declaring 2019 as a year of reset. So we want to remove the caps from our capacity. And as I'm walking through today, well, how do we do that? Don't become settled in where you are. Amen. I had an opportunity today or yesterday in church to share with and pray with a member of our church, and the person was of a senior status, and the word that came from the Spirit of the Lord was that it is not too late. Your season is not over. You have time to step into life and achieve those things that are yet out there, to receive the promises that God has yet for you, to step into some places that God has for you. But for that gentleman, is becoming aware that he's able to do that. And so with that word, he can blow the cap off capacity and yet pursue some things that God has allowed for him to have yet in the remainder of his life. Now, you can develop capacities you already have. So we're looking at capacities. What capacity do I already have? And so for me, as an official, I didn't have the capacity to know sports and to know everything. I have to work at it. And so everyone has capacities that are based on their natural talents. So what natural talents do you have? Now, we took the inventory, but I want you to take another inventory. So this is a year of really evaluating and really looking internally and intentionally to see what you have. And so some of them talents require specific abilities, such as those found in those who are musicians or those who are athletes or artists or whatever those things that may be aligned with the talents and abilities. Others are more general in nature, he goes on to say, and rely on multiple skill sets. In this book, he really looks at the various capacities. So he looks at what you call the energy capacity, your ability to push on physically, emotional capacity, your ability to manage your emotions, thinking capacity, your ability to think effectively, people capacity, your ability to build relationships, creative capacity, your ability to see options and find answers, production capacity, your ability to accomplish results, leadership capacity, your ability to lift and lead others. And that's an area, and this is why I am looking, this is why I'm standing before you today, because there's a talent that and a gift that God has given me to lift and lead others through words. Someone shared with me, which was so precious, you hug people with your words. And that was such a compliment to me that that somebody could be hugged by my words. And so it is my prayer that you feel the same thing as I'm talking to you, that you feel hugged by my words on today. And so we're looking at, and we will be talking about throughout the course of the season as to how to build those capacities, how to be reset in 2019. Now we have, again, capacities is awareness plus ability plus choices. You can make choices that maximize your possibilities. And he says you also have other capacities that rely more on your choices. And it says, while it is true that talent is still a factor, it is less important in these areas. And here's some choices that can be made to increase your capacity. So here it is. The number one, responsibility capacity, your choice to take charge of your life. That's a choice, not an ability. Character capacity, your choice is based on good values. What are your values grounded in? Are they morally and ethical, and are they legal? Abundance capacity, your choice to believe there is more than enough. That's huge. You know, sometimes we just don't think that there's enough. Like when I was talking about the finance, just because somebody makes more money than I do, I need to choose to believe that I have the capacity, the abundance capacity. Disciplined capacity, your choice to focus now and follow through. That's huge. Intentionality capacity, your choice to deliberately pursue significance. Yes, where is your significance? You may find it in family, you might find it in your work that you do, you might find it in giving. Attitude capacity, your choice to be positive regardless of circumstance. And I know that there's circumstances that can come that may seem like they're bigger than your God, but you must know that your God is bigger than the circumstances that confront you. So that is a choice. Risk capacity, your choice to get out of your comfort zone. Oh my God. Getting out of comfort and getting into a place where you are allowed to grow, because when you stay in comfort, I think I talked about this a couple of shows ago, you don't grow. And so we're about having that growth mindset versus that solid fixed mindset. So are you at growth or are you at fixed? Spiritual capacity, your choice to strengthen your faith. Growth capacity, Your choice to focus on how far can you go? How far can I go? Just because I reached this milestone, what's next? Are you ready to take on the what's next? Partnership capacity, your choice to collaborate with others. And that's what I was going to tell you. So I'm using John Maxwell, one of my mentors. I am a John Maxwell leader, and I utilize the resources that help grow. Not only do I use them to share with you, but I use them to grow on my own. And so really looking at how far can you go really in your life. What have you had in your life that has held you back? We want to step into that place that using the capacity equals awareness plus ability plus choices. And if you have to watch this broadcast again to capture these, just to get these, do that. And do that. And watch me coming forth in the days to come, the broadcast to come, so that we can walk through and develop these things so that we can really blow the cap off your capacity. What has God put in your heart for you to do? What is that thing that has been nagging at you and gnawing at you like a terrible itch? An itch is a pain. An itch is something that you can't reach. It's like, oh, I'm trying to reach and scratch my back, but you can't quite get there. You don't have anybody to help you. Well, what is that thing that you need to go for and just really just take the bull by the horns and just walk into that place? What's holding you back? What's limiting you? What's standing in your way? Is it you? Is it your mindset? Is it your thinking? Is it family history? Is it generational curses? What is it that stands in your way, that comes against you, that confronts you? Well, I want you to really think about that. But then as we think about that, let's step into, where are your strengths? What can we build on? What can we become strong in, where we can build that muscle to become strong, to push that up? We'll push those things up. We'll acknowledge, we'll highlight, but then we will walk through. We will use resources like I have to continue to walk through where we need to go for 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I just really encourage you to join me on the journey. Reset 2019 is a fan page that I created on Facebook, and it will be forms of encouragement. I will put things in there to support you, to encourage you, to get you from where you are to where you want and need to be. In the days to come, I will be blogging, so be looking for things that will lead you to growth. But I encourage you to really go to my Facebook page, Tina Boyle White. Request, send me a message, say that you want to be in the private group. It is a private group, Reset 2019, to help individuals who are serious about being reset in 2019. Well, you've been hanging out with your host, the host of the Bridge Broadcast Show, who's excited as always to be with you. I encourage you to join me, link up with me, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, my webpage, my fan page, Reset 2019. You guys, I'm going through a reset as well, Reset 2019. God is doing a special thing in me, and I am no different from you. Every day is a journey. Every day is a fight of faith. Every day is a step into a new place where I can see how God can do great things in my life. Every day is a form of growth. Grow with me. Walk with me. Sojourn with me. See God do great things in these days to come. I'm excited about 2019, and I'm blowing the cap off my capacity, and I am going into places that I have not seen before. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the hearts of men the things that God has prepared for me. And in 2019, I am taking back what is mine. For those of you who know scripture, the scripture said the kingdom suffered violence, but the violent take it back by force. And I am taking what's mine because I am resetting in 2019. Join me on this journey. God bless you. I decree peace over your life. I declare joy return to you. I declare wholeness be in your family, in your finances. And I declare that everything you touch will prosper. And one last thing, I decree that wherever your feet or your steps are, that you are blessed. God bless you on this evening, day, or morning. I will see you next week. Your host, Tina Boyle White.